So today I'm here with Mr. Hannes Heide, an MEP who's a part of the CULT committee. Mr. Heide, thank you very much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be with you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Heide, what do you see as the hottest topic in the CULT committee today?
In the CULT committee, overall we have to say and we have to be aware of that the European Union is existentially in danger. The threats are coming from outside, but the threats are also coming from inside the European Union. So it's very important that the Committee on Culture and Education is also aware of it. And the priorities we have now, of course, is the multi-annual financial framework. That sounds quite technical, but from the CULT perspective, it's about contact of European citizens and especially young Europeans with the European Union, because we are dealing with Erasmus Plus, flagship program or the flagship program of the European Union, which connects citizens and young people with the European Union and which is very successful. So we have to take care that more young people are able to participate in the next couple of years. And it's also about citizens' engagement. We are also responsible for young people, young Europeans, and it's about participation of involvement. And there is the youth check, which means that young people will be able to contribute and to say what they think about processes within the European Union, about lawmaking, so which is very important that we achieve this goal. We are also talking about the creative sectors, very important in economically difficult times. For example, European music market, music business grew 9% last year, and it's very important that we have a success story to have also a good motivation and a good acceptance within European citizens. It's also about media. Not only about audiovisual media, about film, about music, it's also about information. We have this information, we have changing media market, media reception. We also have the big platforms which we have to deal with. And these are some main issues within the next couple of years. And it's very important to create an awareness amongst European citizens how important creative sector is. We have goals in the education area, in the European education area. We have to deal about fair pay and about the working conditions for people working in the creative sectors. So there's a lot to do and permanent work within the CULT committee for European topics and issues.
When we talk, for example, about the financial framework, is there a consensus in the committee, or is it hard to achieve some kind of deal?
Well, there are two levels within the committee in the European Parliament responsible for CULT and education. Most of the political groups are united, and I have to say, the proposal, the draft from the European Commission is quite promising. Of course, there are some concerns where we have to deal with, and the last meetings of the CULT committee showed that also the representatives of the Commission are quite open, and it's a good level of discussion and understanding of each side. And there is 50% more for Erasmus Plus, which actually is not that much because there was a merge of programs and we have to consider inflation. And we want to do twice as much and we cannot do it with 50% more. This is my approach. But on the other side, we have a doubling of the budget for the creative sector, for the media sector. So this is also quite promising with also some concerns. But there is, of course, a discussion about the MFF overall. And there are cuts where we have opposition from certain groups. And we also have new revenues for the European Commission, for example, all European tobacco tax, and this will be issues that have to be discussed here in Parliament to get a majority. But of course, European Council, the member states will also have their say.
Mm-hmm. Yes. When we look into the future, what should be Europe's top priority in education over 10 years, let's say?
First, education at all. It's a competence not of European Union, but it's a competence of the member states. And I'm coming from a country where it's a competence of federal states. It's Austria, and it's the same in Germany. That makes it quite hard. But the European education area should already be implemented this year, but we're still far away of overall final exams, of recognition of final exams in the European Union. We have to do more for mobility in the educational sector. We have some good experience and role models in the university sector, and the education sector should also be in the same level as we have it in academic sector. And there is still a lot to do. We have the Union of Skills. So Commission shows, and also the member states, education is very important. It's important for competitiveness, but it's also very important for democracy.
Yes.
So we must not forget it's education that's the fundamentals for every democratic expression and for understanding.
So if we meet again in 2030, how does a success look like in the European Union?
Well, Erasmus Plus, everybody has the opportunity to take part. Every European citizen, no matter what age they are. So everybody in Europe should have had the opportunity to be in an Erasmus Plus project.
Okay, I will build up on this because when you spoke as a rapporteur on the long-term EU budget, you highlighted Erasmus Plus as the key tool for reducing inequalities. I wonder, where does EU still fall short in making Erasmus Plus accessible for all?
It's quite simple. It's on the money. Okay. European Union and also the member states often are not aware about their own success story, about successful brands. And there are so many successful brands. Erasmus Plus, everybody knows. Yes. But not everybody has the opportunity to be a part of it, because it's still, in a certain aspect, elite and can be expensive to participate. So we have to open it to everybody, to all sectors, also to sports, and also to people with handicaps, disabled people. So every group, intergenerational, should be able to take part. But there are other successful brands that unite Europe, like European Capitals of Culture, like Creative Europe, but they are not so implemented in the minds of the people, and this is what we have to work on.
Mm-hmm. In Erasmus, would you like to see also some structural reforms in making it more accessible, or is it just about more funding?
No. Erasmus Plus always has to develop and to open more and more. And if you want to reach every European citizen, then you have to open it, then you have to develop it. And Erasmus Plus never can stand still. It has to be dynamic.
We now have
and also passionate.
We now have Erasmus for seniors and small kids, which, in my opinion, is also a great success. But as we know, the European Commission excluded some Hungarian universities due to concerns about governance, academic freedom. In your view, is conditionality of this kind an effective instrument?
It's not that the European Commission excluded any country. It's the country or it's the universities themselves who excluded them. Because if you have rules and if you have goals and if you have targets, then you have to follow the target and you cannot change the rule. And one Austrian university is also one of the ones who cannot take part, but it's not within the competence or within necessary action of the Commission or the Parliament. It's the member states, it's the structure of the universities. And why we are so open? Why can universities from Switzerland take part, or from other associated countries or even third states, when they stick to the rules? And we have rules, and to stick to the rule. This is also rule of law.
We have Turkey universities also in the Erasmus structure.
Yeah, if they follow the regulation, if they follow the rules.
Yes. But how can we ensure that students are not the one who pay price for these problems within the country?
Well, especially students have a strong voice, and they should speak up and also act, because if there is a discussion within Hungary, I know it's quite hard because of the structure of media as well, where there are difficulties, but the simplest solution is Hungary, the government, not the Hungarians, not the students, the responsible people in Hungary follow the rules. And Erasmus Plus can only be successful if we have rules. And these rules were successful. Tell me why in so many countries Erasmus Plus is that successful, and why is it not happening in Hungary? When others stick to the rules and are successful, why could we exclude one member state that always sets up its own rules? And they do set up permanently own rules. If you go to a World Cup in football, then there are clear rules. And if you don't follow the rules, then you can't play there.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's move to another topic, which is as important as Erasmus. Back in 2024, you warned about foreign influence, notably Chinese funding to European research in strategic areas. Where do we stand right now in this issue?
I think there is much more awareness about what it means, and there are certain cases not only in the educational sector, not only at universities, that show that the People's Republic of China wants to have more and more influence, and also influencing decisions or also content and changing minds. And I'm pretty sure that there is much more awareness, and we have the closure of Confucius institutes, and that cooperation is not on that level that it used to be, and all the institutions are much more careful than they used to be.
That was my second question, if they are more aware of the risks. Yes. Do you see the solution more in EU-wide screening mechanisms or in national controls?
As well as. I think on all levels we have to be aware about certain threats. I was starting with mentioning that Europe is under threat. And this is an external threat, and there are many threats from third countries, and it's taking place in the chaos of cybersecurity, but it's also taking place in the cultural sector, it's taking place in the educational system.
Okay. Another topic which I would like to cover is the competitiveness of European universities, because we are trying to invest in education and research, but when it comes to some worldwide rankings, we still fall behind some of those from the UK, United States. Why do you think these gaps exist?
Well, my impression is that universities in the European Union are improving. They are in much better situation, getting in a better situation. And there are some universities also within the European Union in the ranking. They are very successful and also in the front. And we have to build on this. And of course, it's cooperation. But I also have to mention that there are certain cases of brain drain, and many successful scientists, professors, experts from the European Union are going to third countries, especially the United States, where they used to have better conditions. And now this is also an opportunity. Of course, it's a sad case, but now there's an opportunity that Europe gets back some of its expertise that has gone to the United States, which we can witness also in other sectors, that successful European experts are well paid and brought and attracted to the United States. But with the current policy in the United States, I think this is a very big opportunity for Europe, and we have to be aware and we have to take it.
Do you see universities as key part of the global competitiveness of the EU?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
With no doubt.
No. I would like to get back to the creative sphere of your work. And I have been reading a lot about the use of AI in the media, in the creative sector. How do you deal with this?
Of course, it's one of the priorities, and if you follow the work of the CULT committee, then you see that this is a priority in all different levels. Of course, it's opportunity, but when there is AI in the work, then we have to know it, and AI is fed with the work of authors, of creators, and this has to be clear. It has to be mentioned when there is creation from authors, then people have to know it, and these people who contribute have also to be paid. And we know certain cases that AI is fed with the work of experts and specialists from Europe, and they are not paid for it. They're not fairly paid, they are not paid at all. And we had a case of a very well-known historian from Europe, Orlando Figes, who told us he's the author of 10 books, and 8 books without his permission were fed into artificial intelligence. And it's very important in the music sector. It's also very, very important in literature, and it's also very important in the creation of film. And the AI Act, to a certain amount, is a very helpful tool, but we have to react to the fast development, and we have to safeguard our deeply European cultural heritage and creation. And this is also one of the goals we have. And this is a coalition with the authors, with the artists, with the publishers, with creators, directors, with all the creative sector we are having in the Cult Committee. And there are a lot of events, a lot of talks, and of course there are also reports which will hopefully lead to a better legal framework, and also to opening more opportunity within the European Union for creators.
Thank you very much. One last question, the final one. If you could push one concrete measure in this parliamentary term to strengthen education and academic freedom in Europe, what would that be?
Erasmus Plus, still.
Okay,
I'm sticking on Erasmus Plus because this is the European success story, and with a comparable low amount of money, so much has been achieved. And imagine with a quadrupled budget what you can do, and quadruple is not coming from me, it's part of the Draghi report. And people are talking here, decision makers are talking so much about the Draghi report, but they forget to mention that he proposed a quadrupled budget for Erasmus Plus.
This was Hannes Heide, MEP member of the Cult Committee. Thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about creative sectors and education, because I'm convinced there is not enough talk about these very important issues and topics.
We can repeat that sometime.
We will.